Welcome to the Cycling Esports Show. This week, we will be looking at what power-ups really are and how best to use them when racing on Zwift. And as ever, we'll be bringing you up to date with all the action from the latest round of racing in the KISS Super League.
Yes, that's right. And to top it all off, we'll be speaking to none other than Tour de France winner and 5-time Olympic champion Bradley Wiggins to get his take on virtual racing. But first of all, let's catch up with what's been happening this week in the KISS Super League.
London welcomed the men for the first time in this season's KISS Super League. Keith Hill After Party was the course, a 36-kilometre route taking in some of London's most famous landmarks, with the summit finish up Keith Hill, a testing 5-kilometre climb at an average grade of 5%. As the lead group of around 25 headed into the final 10k, it seemed the Dream Team had a plan to keep Alex West fresh for the final assault up the only climb of the day, Keith Hill, with Ollie Jones doing some admirable work on the front to control proceedings. The Dream Team continued to set the pace as the road pointed up, with mega kudos due to Dimension Data's Luca Mazzato, who attempted an audacious attack at the bottom of the climb. As they neared the summit, it was the man who'd been keeping unusually quiet all race, Ian Bibby, who pounced, using his feather power-up brilliantly to gap the group. Bibby would hold on from 2k out to take his third win of the season, with West powering home in second to maintain his outrageous record of finishing on the podium in every race he's entered this season, and Ribble's Alex Lurs in third. So it's as you were at the top of the overall standings heading into round 9 next week. The Women's League headed to Richmond and the UCI Worlds course for round 4. 2 laps of the 16-kilometre course, each ending with 3 brutal climbs before a false flat to the finish. The peloton stayed together for the first 9k before the inevitable carnage of Libby Hill. Cassie Boldy of the Zwift All-Stars went big on the first descent as the pack began to split, with a group of 6 riders forming off the front, and the gap soon increased to 17 seconds. Chloe Dygart-Owen of Showair 2020 started to catch the eye with a series of powerful drives off the front, showing her pedigree as a multiple track world champion. Hoback led the way up Libby Hill for the final time, and with 3 kilometres remaining, Dygart-Owen appeared seemingly out of nowhere to join Mary Wilkinson, Hoback and Whitelaw in the race to the finish. Approaching the final climb, it was Dygart-Owen and Hoback in an epic duel to take the day's spoils. Gutsy amateur against seasoned pro, it was Dygart-Owen who showed her class on this occasion with a powerful attack from 500 metres out to power home and take the win. The result keeps the All-Stars out front in the overall standings, with Showair 2020 in second.
Round 8 of the men's KISS Super League, London for the first time. You seemed to keep very quiet for the whole race, and then you came out of nowhere and won it seemingly quite comfortably. Talk us through it.
Well, I certainly wouldn't say comfortably. It was only 2 seconds at the end, so it was pretty flat till the climb. So it was quite obvious that was going to be the main bit. So I just thought I'd hold tight, and even on some of the climbs, you still get quite a lot of benefit of draft. So I just sat in till I knew it kicked up again with about 1.5 k, 2k to go. So I didn't get an aero helmet, which knew that the finish, if someone had one, and it turned out Alex West did, I'd be in trouble. So as soon as I realised I had a feather, I decided to keep it, and my only option then was to attack. So luckily it worked, but it wasn't the easiest way of doing it.
Well, I was hoping that I could put some more pressure on for the last 3 climbs. Well, I was kind of hoping that I was having a good power up, and you never know what power up the other one had. So when I saw that she pushed her feather power up, I thought that I might have her. But I thought wrong. I could see she was crazy strong, so I did all I could just to get her on that final climb, but it was really impossible. She was just putting more pressure on, and she was so strong, and I did everything I could. As I've said before, it was really the hardest finish ever for me on Zwift.
Another scintillating week in the KISS Super League. What a finish in that women's race. And I caught up with the man with the inside view, Greg Leo, to break it all down. What was the story of the week for you?
I think it had to be Dygart-Owen's performance in women's round 4. I mean, to have individual pursuit champion, come onto Zwift and just, even without the experience racing on the platform, absolutely destroy a race that she also won in real life. I mean, she was the road race champion in Richmond as well, I believe as a junior.
As a junior, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so to win virtually on the same course she won on in real life, I mean, this is just incredible.
Yeah, for me, I completely agree. I think, throughout the whole race, she just seemed to be playing almost with the other riders. Off the front, she just kept driving the pace. And then the final 3 climbs there on the final lap, Hobart did an admirable job trying to keep up with her. But
right.
It was impossible in the end. But
yeah, it was Hobart in the end who pushed the pace on 23rd. And it didn't even seem to phase Dygard Owen. I mean, when they hit Governor Street, she used her aero power up on a steep little section. Hobart managed to catch up to her, and then she just went again. It was like she was toying with her. And Hobart has definitely been, we've seen her win on that course in the KISS Community League. So she was the favorite going in. She knows the course very well. But of course, you're sort of discounting the fact that Dygard Owen knows that course from doing multiple laps of it just a few years ago.
Now, next up, let's talk about one of the most important aspects of racing on Zwift, power-ups. Over to you, Keira.
Power-ups are a crucial part of Zwift racing. They're in-game boosts that aid performance. And there's 3 that you need to know about. The first is the lightweight boost, or feather power-up. This does what it says on the tin and reduces your weight by 15 pounds or 7 kilograms for 15 seconds. So use this up the climbs and you're really going to feel the benefit. Number 2 is the draft boost, or van power-up. This reduces the drag that you experience by 50% for 30 seconds. So use this when you're in the group to get a rest from the relentless pace. Number 3 is the aero boost, or helmet power-up. This makes you more aerodynamic for 30 seconds, so it's best used in the finishing sprint or when you're trying to get away in the breakaway. Power-ups are randomly allocated when you go through a sprint, a start or finish, or King of the Mountains archway. If you go through an arch with an unused power-up though, you won't be given a new one. As we've seen time and time again in the KISS Super League, timing is everything when it comes to power-ups. The best racers know exactly when to deploy their power-ups and what to save in reserve for the finishing sprint.
Nice work, Keira. Now this week, we caught up with one of the most decorated cyclists of all time, Bradley Wiggins, to get his thoughts on the new world of virtual racing.
It's brilliant. I think, I was talking about it to someone earlier today, and they had a New York one this week. And it seems to be getting bigger and bigger all the time. The amount of people that are getting involved with it is endless where it can go. And I think it's kind of the way everything's going digital now, everything's going interactive, and it's just another way of engaging the general public and kids as well into racing with their heroes and stuff. So I think it's a brilliant thing. Time will tell, but it's already looks like the initial ones have been a big success.
Bradley Wiggins loves virtual racing. How cool is that? Okay, that's all from us this week. Join us next week when we'll be bringing you all the action from rounds 9 and 5 of the KISS Super League and more. See you then. Bye-bye.